Hey, good morning. We're going to do this street scene in Newburyport. I sketched it out here. Some beautiful big shapes, big buildings, and there's some fun. The lampposts give you the distance and so forth. A lot of cars, so it should be fun. All right, we'll begin in the sky. I just used a little Windsor blue here. It's a nice bright sky. Don't have to paint around much. Don't worry about the lampposts. All that stuff is so much darker than the sky. Okay. All right, this is just cadmium red in the buildings, just painting the shape of the buildings. It's lighter in the distance, so there's more water in the paint, and keep it nice and light. And up close, it's darker. It's going to be stronger, so I added more cadmium. You can add a pinch of Aurelian yellow into that if you want to make it more an orangey brick color. Okay, we've got a couple of awnings there. Keep it nice and light in the back. A couple of awnings to paint around. All right, there's some storefronts here, so I'm just gonna very loosely paint around. Leave some white spaces for them. Bring that stuff down. Bring it all down. All right, I added a little cobalt blue with a pinch of Aurelian yellow. You get some nice light green. Keep it light. In the photo, it's very dark, but we'll keep it nice and light back here so that we create that distance. There's a couple of traffic signs that I'm painting around. I added a little more blue to that, the base of these trees, just on the base, and that'll all settle. So, all right, the street is ultramarine with a little touch of red, very light. It's a light violet. It looks a little dark, but that's going to dry. It's going to dry lighter. Paint around the cars, leave a few little highlights on the cars. Got a side street coming in there. All right, a little darker in the front. You can add a little pigment. Just get a little bit darker as it comes towards you. That'll help bring it forward. All right, we got a sidewalk over here. Little cadmium red. This is all going to be covered in shadow later on. All right, we'll get the buildings on the left. That's stronger now. This is cadmium red with ultramarine blue. Just get a nice, strong color. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of the darks. Add some good color in there. All right, I left some whites for some windows that will. This is all in shade, so we're going to go back and cover that white, but let it get lighter as it goes back. I'm going to have to come and strengthen that front. There's a sign hanging out there, very old soda fountain store which sells cigars, and they're all out of business. All right, I'm going to put a little violet here. There's just a little blue. Cover this. These are white storefronts, but we'll make them gray. All right, over here we have on the top of the roof, the side of a building. I'm going to make this one very dark. This is just ultramarine with cadmium red, but it's very dark. Looks like a deep, warm brown. We know how to paint those deep warm browns, don't we? Just leaving a couple of specks of light, sort of like the light is hanging on the side of the building or something. That's very strong and warm, and that's going to bring the whole painting forward, all those buildings. Same thing back there, but this is much lighter because we're in the back now, okay? And that will help create that sense of distance. So we have that deep, dark, warm in the front, and this lighter brown in the going back. Everything going back is going to get lighter, and everything coming forward is going to be much darker and warmer. All right, a few chimneys peeking up there. Some other suggestions of the building. Roof lines. Keep those lighter than the ones up front. The ones up front are darker. Little suggestion of a separation of the buildings there. All right, I'm just popping in the windows. There's a lot of windows, but don't get too, worried about it. Just they're basically just some lines. We can always go back and strengthen them if you want to. But you'll see as you develop your painting, it will be much better. There's another side. This is the side of a building that's up above the building in front of it. This one, I made this one lighter in contrast to the one behind it. All those give you a nice contrast up there. All right, down below we have some storefronts. There's a couple of awnings there that we're painting underneath the awnings. Okay, same here. Just really, they're just storefronts. Big windows and doorways, and keep a variety in there. Okay, there's our awnings. Another one, put a red one in here. Little color. A lot of little details. All right, on the left there's a roof line. I'm going to strengthen that roof line. The same thing as we did on the right. The suggested separation of the buildings, and we'll go back and pop some windows in later. Maybe now. All right, we're painting those whites, covering the whites with some violets. Very dark black awning on this side, and so that's ultramarine with quincy and a very dark, and I'm adding a strip of cobalt blue on the top just to give a little sense of reflective light on there. It's much bluer. All right, and we have a doorway here, some storefronts, and again, they're just don't get too detailed here. Just draw some lines down, and they'll create that sense of a doorway there, which is nice. This is all going to be in deep shade, so you don't have to worry too much about it. But just if you notice, the side of the building below matches the line of the building above the corner of the building. I'm going to go in and strengthen that. But so there's our storefronts with a little suggestion of storefronts. So I'm going to strengthen this side so you can see the line of that building goes all the way down to the ground. All right. So as you see, it's stronger in the front, so it brings that building forward. All right, we're going to get into the cars now. There's a ton of cars going up the street here. So just, keep them lighter in the back. Just do the tires and underneath and the windshields, and very simple. Don't get into a lot of details back there. There's one parked on the side of the street here. That's the back of it. Okay, there's a tire, there's a shadow, the windshield, back windshield. Okay, just a suggestion of that. We'll put some shadows on it later. Okay, and we have a bunch of them over here. And just suggest, we're just suggesting the shape of cars way off in the distance there. There's a lot of little details in this. You can get caught up in it if you want, but really not important. As long as it reads, reads well, reads like cars. All right, suggest little shapes back there. Don't have to define it all, So we've got two big cars up front here. These are major because they're a big part of our painting. All right, I'm going to make the one in front is white, so I'm going to just painting the windshields and the shadow part of it. This one is obviously in black, leaving a license plate that I'll cover in shadow. But okay, get that big dark shape of the back of the car with the tires, and bring it right down underneath the car. Right, nice shadow. It already creates that, reads like a car, and we have that front tire suggestion underneath the car. Okay, get the windshield. I'm going to put a black line across the top, but I'm going to put some, same here. I'm going to put some Windsor blue for the windshields on these cars, because they're kind of reflecting the sky. Just study them out, get those shapes. The shape of the windshield is important, and those tires, they're very dark. Okay. That dark makes the car pop. So, all right, the windshields are very dark. There's a lot of blue in that. You can't see it too much in the video, but there's a lot of Windsor blue. All right, this is a black car with a lot of reflection on it. So, just study it out. Take your time doing it. The more you do, the more of these cars you do, the more you're going to get comfortable with it. Enjoy it. Make them big enough. A lot of students make the cars too small. All right, little detail here. There's a bunch of these lanterns, the old-fashioned lanterns in the street here, which is really nice. Newburyport is a beautiful center. You have a beautiful center of town. It's a great art community, very creative community up there. That Firehouse Theater is wonderful if you haven't been there. At the base of the post, a little bit fatter, a little thicker down there. Right, so there's a big one, and these are a little smaller and a little bit lighter in value, so we send them back. They're just on the edge of those traffic signs. There's a couple of boxes here. I think they're, newspaper boxes. So we'll put those in. They're just silhouettes. All this is in shadow, so we'll bring that in. All right, there's the signpost. This is a one-way street, so do not enter. Another one of those signposts, lanterns. They add a lot to the area, a little bit of tradition. And there's a no left turn here. Put a towel under my hand here so I don't smudge everything. It's fairly dry, but finish off that other post. All right, putting some shadows on the cars. All that stuff in the back, it helps to sit them down. You know, just suggest it. Don't get too involved with it. The light is coming from our left side, obviously, so if you know that, then you can put the shadow in the appropriate areas there, just filling in the lanterns. All right, a few more windows. Just a suggestion. You don't need much, you know. It all reads really well. All right, here comes the big shadow. Very dark. This is a ultramarine with a touch of cad red. Now, close to the building, it's going to be very dark, and those are the shadows on the other buildings in the back. All right, we'll let that come out. Now, I add a cadmium red here. As it moves away, it gets warmer and lighter, you know. So I'll just pop that in and let those mix. But you can see that really brings the whole painting together. You know, that nice strong shadow. I'm going to just cover the whole street with it here. Okay, so you can see that really helps a lot. I'm putting some tail lights on these cars. That really helps a lot to develop the sense of the car. A little bit of reflection in the street. Not too much, you know, the streets aren't really that wet, but the lights are bright, so just popping in a couple of little red dots here and there. You know, you don't have to be exact with this stuff. All right. There's another sign over here. I'm not sure what it is, but just other little details, you know. Just put in what you want. You don't have to do it all. Just look at your painting and see what it needs, you know. Just a little bit here and there, and you know, add a little color to it. You don't have to explain every single thing, you know. I'm going to put a few figures in here. These street scenes are always fun, you know. They're always fun. All right, so you got a few figures. They're all in shadow, so very strong, deep dark figures. Okay, yeah. And we'll add a few more in the back. A little red in the face there, just to warm it up. All right, some more dots. All right, this is a lot of fun. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. And please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I really appreciate it. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers and like it. Thanks so much, and I will see you again soon.